Almost everyone visiting Japan shares one major frustration. The streets are incredibly clean. Yet, public trash cans are nowhere to be found. You walk around all day. You feel complete despair because you cannot throw away your trash. Will this ever get better? No. In fact, the rules are only getting tighter. Local governments across Japan are raising fines for street smoking and littering. According to recent news in 2026, Tokyo's Shibuya ward, one of the city's most vibrant shopping and entertainment districts, implemented a new rule. If you litter, you get an immediate fine of 2,000 yen. Japan is not Singapore yet. Singapore is famous for its extreme fines, but when trash cans are this rare, many people will inevitably face the temptation to litter. Why does Japan make you carry your trash forever? The world looks at Japan's clean streets and praises the country. They call it Japanese virtue, or a miracle of civic morality. But is that the whole story? Behind the beautiful Japanese spirit, there's a more complicated reality. It's a story of a historical tragedy giving cover to something less noble, and a suffocating system of forced manners. Why did trash cans vanish from Japanese streets in the first place? Everyone points to the 1995 Tokyo subway sarin gas attack. The terrorists boarded packed rush-hour trains. They targeted commuters heading toward Kasumigaseki, the government district. They carried bags of deadly sarin gas, left them on the train floors, and ran away. This attack injured nearly 6,000 people and killed several others. The terrorists did not actually put the chemical weapon in a trash can, but at the time, the police did not know the full scale of the cult or their next plans. Also, copycat incidents happened. They left other toxic substances inside station trash cans. A trash can is the ultimate blind spot. It is an easy place to hide a dangerous package. So, the government had to remove these hidden boxes from stations and public spaces. As a result, every trash can in the city was sealed, and most were eventually removed. At that time, everyone was on high alert. This included railway companies, the police, and the passengers. Even a forgotten bag would bring a massive police response. Under those conditions, removing the trash cans seemed absolutely necessary. Over 30 years have passed since the attack. Fortunately, Japan has not suffered another similar attack. Yet, the frustration of tourists remains unresolved. Why? The truth is, trash cans did return to train stations. They came back in smaller numbers. Railway companies secured the stations, increased surveillance, and redesigned the trash cans. They made them transparent so you can see inside. They also made the openings very narrow so people cannot drop large bags. The ones that never returned are the public trash cans on street corners and in parks. Station trash cans are funded and managed by private railway companies, but street and park trash cans are managed by local governments. In other words, they are funded by taxpayers. If you set up public trash cans, people dump their household waste there. This costs a lot of tax money for management and collection. And this was already a headache for local governments long before the 1995 attack. The economic boom of the 1980s brought mass consumption, takeaway food, and vending machines. The overflowing trash brought bad smells and pests. Neighbors complained constantly. It's not hard to imagine that, even before 1995, local governments were quietly looking for a way out of this burden. Then the sarin attack happened. The police and the central government demanded anti-terrorism measures, and local governments moved quickly to remove the trash cans. Whatever the full mix of motives, the timing was convenient. Cutting costs to save money would have drawn public anger, but doing it to protect national security made the decision unquestionable. This is the part that's easy to overstate, so it's worth being careful here. Nobody has a signed memo proving intent. But when you compare Japan's approach to how other countries handled the same kind of threat, anti-terrorism starts to look like a more convenient explanation than the full story. Singapore has plenty of bins on the streets, but none inside subway stations, the actual target zone for that kind of attack. Japan did the opposite. It kept some bins in stations while letting the street ones disappear for good. If the decision were purely about security, you'd expect the reasoning to point the other way. It's the kind of gap that makes "we did this to cut costs, and national security gave us the cover to do it without complaint" a plausible reading, even if it can't be proven with certainty. When people talk about Japan's cleanliness, they often praise the high moral character of the people, But the idea that Japan has always been clean is historically incorrect. Just 30 years ago, Japan was a littering paradise. People routinely smoked on train platforms and threw their cigarette butts onto the tracks. They left empty cans and newspapers on train seats. Throwing trash out of car windows was a common sight. Society back then was remarkably loose. The very definition of manners was simply different back then. So, why did Japanese people suddenly become so orderly? It is because they were trapped in a system of mutual surveillance. Public campaigns against littering started in the 1990s. But the real shift happened in the 2000s. Chiyoda Ward in Tokyo started giving on-the-spot fines for street smoking. Soon, other cities tightened their rules and punishments. Only when these regulations spread did the idea of littering is wrong take root. This created a strange paradox. Trash cans are gone, but penalties for littering are severe. The pedestrian carries all the stress. You must carry your trash for hours, or take it all the way home. People say Japan values harmony, but this could become collectivism and creates intense stress. In the past, Japan's social harmony in this regard was, everyone is a little loose, so don't worry. The government paid for the cleanup. Today's peer pressure is different. The government stepped back, and the new rule is, everyone else is enduring this struggle, so you must suffer too. This pressure is what creates the modern etiquette robot. Some argue that school cleaning times teach Japanese children to be clean from a young age. It is true. Western schools hire professional janitors, but Japanese schools make the children clean up themselves. Serving school lunches and recycling milk cartons are scheduled down to the minute. Everything is done under collective responsibility. Manage your own waste, protect the group order. Whether or not this is framed as teaching kindness, in practice it functions as training in conformity. This obsession went to extremes. Some companies and schools push training programs where people clean toilets with their bare hands, claiming this mental discipline builds humility. Critics argue this is peer pressure dressed up as virtue, and that it overlooks basic hygiene. Besides, school cleaning has existed in Japan for over 100 years. If school cleaning made people clean, why did the Showa generation litter so heavily? They did the exact same cleaning in school. So, school cleaning alone doesn't explain today's orderliness. Obedience to rules seems to matter more than moral training. When Japanese fans clean stadiums at the World Cup, the media praises them. But this is not in their DNA. It is just about timing. Japan simply developed its economy and social systems a little bit earlier than some other nations. Singapore became incredibly clean through astronomical fines. Today, the fast-growing cities in China and Thailand are cleaning up quickly through digital surveillance. Any country that grows wealthy and adopts high-tech monitoring will eventually look like Japan. Japan's system relies entirely on individual virtue and is now reaching its limit. With the massive surge in tourism, recycling bins near vending machines are overflowing with regular trash. Some argue that we should bring back public trash cans using tax money, but the government's logic is firm. Public trash cans are unfair to good citizens because a small minority who abuse them, with illegal dumping, generate huge costs. If local shopping districts want them, they should pay for them. It's a tidy piece of bureaucratic logic, and a convenient one. Public trash cans will never become an election issue, so the chance of them returning to the streets is virtually zero. Instead, the cost of keeping the streets clean has been quietly shifted to local merchants and private businesses. They must pay out of their own pockets. In many other countries, simply removing trash cans was never a real option. They knew people would litter. Instead, they developed high-tech, smart trash cans to lower maintenance costs. Japan took a different route. It reduced management costs close to zero, and let morality and fines carry the burden that infrastructure used to. Yet, with so many international visitors, this reliance on mental discipline is showing its limits. When change finally comes, it will not come from the government. It will come from the private sector. The rise of IoT smart trash cans is slowly starting. These bins use solar panels to compress waste and manage collection schedules automatically. In the future, local merchants may have to pay to install these smart systems because the public infrastructure never returned. If you are traveling in Japan, finding a bin is a game. You can find them inside convenience stores or behind station ticket gates. Once you step onto the street, they vanish. Knowing this simple pattern is your only shield against stress, a spotless city built on a real contradiction. The next time you visit Japan and look at its clean streets, please take a moment to ask yourself, are you looking at a beautiful country? Or are you looking at the invisible cage of enforced harmony?